This was supposed to be some very simple installation slash troubleshooting, and nothing felt simple at all. Nothing worked the way it should have. I'm installing 2 Roku security cameras. One of them just wouldn't power on no matter what I tried. So some of the first troubleshooting things you should think of when it comes to a camera that is kind of messing up, I was like, you know what, this has to be the cable. So I even unplugged, like, I don't even know how to describe this wire, but it was kind of plugged into the back of the camera, and then there was a wire that gets plugged into the wall, but there was something in between there that you could unplug. I unplugged that, put it back together, still didn't work. Okay, took the one out of the adapter, but still, you know, kind of left the adapter out. Unplugged that, put it together, still didn't work. Okay, unplugged it from the wall, put it back into the wall, still didn't work. In my mind, maybe this could have been the outlet. I took it out and retried the same thing in a different outlet that I knew was working because, you know, a light switch was plugged into it. And when I had did it, the camera would not turn on. Now, I'm still not sure if this could be a wiring issue, like a cable issue. Do we just need a different wire entirely? Or could this be that the camera is dead, which I think I've concluded that the camera was dead, which is saddening because they had bought this together, 2 cameras in one. So if you're gonna return it, you're gonna have to return both. But let's talk about what happened with the second camera. The second camera powered on, but wouldn't connect to the network. Y'all have no idea. This is an understatement. Whatever you guys are seeing, it's understatement. I wish I had the clip of me stressed out because for about an hour, I was going through it with this network installation. I'm like, what is going on? They're telling me the password is this. What in the hell? Eventually, for the first 20 minutes, turned out the whole time I was putting it into the wrong password name. Beats me, but it's understandable. People make these mistakes. They told me it was this one. In reality, it was another one. Okay, we do that. Put the password in. It works. Now, the app says that it would install over time. You don't really got to be on the app. So I let another hour go by. Tell me why it's updating the firmware and nothing is happening. So I had to get up, go back to where this camera was, unplug everything to basically plug it back in so I could kind of like reset it. Because I tried to do the reset, reboot, but that didn't work. It was just so many things were going wrong. Finally get the phone connected to the network, try to update again to the firmware. This time, miraculously, it still took about 15 minutes, so I was dreading, like I was on the bed, I was about to fall asleep in their house. Like this would have been terrible. Finally wake up, I did not sleep. I get up, look at the phone, it says that it connected, and it even caught me doing exactly what I was doing. So it's kind of embarrassing, but it makes me now realize, okay, when you're dealing with cameras, don't sit there and be like relaxing because you're gonna get all caught up on that damn camera. And trust me, it was really annoying, but I feel like this is what makes IT because troubleshooting is not guessing, it's literally process, and it's kind of like a process of elimination as well to kind of figure out why something not working either. So even though it took a long time and it was very stressful, I am very thankful for the experience I got from this. But next up, there was a dash cam camera that was already installed in the car. When I held the power button, it would blink for a second, but then it would shut off. So that immediately told me that there was something wrong with the power of the car going to this, dash cam. Because I remember previously installing this dash cam myself actually a couple of months ago. But you know how I hate that I don't know names. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to pretend to be an expert here. I'm actually a beginner trying to get experience, but it had this piece, and you know how some people, I really can't describe it. It goes in the middle of the damn car, right? I don't know. I think some people sometimes plug that in. It's like an adapter, I think. And you plug that into the car, and sometimes you could charge your phone. So they had this adapter that you had to plug in with the camera, and the camera would actually work. But then this particular person decided to get the camera to be hot wired, I believe is what you would call it, I'm not sure, where the wiring is now inside of the car, basically so that the camera can record 24/7. Ever since they did that, the camera wasn't working, and I honestly thought it was just going to be a setting in the phone. But when I had opened up the app, nothing was the way that it was. The camera wasn't on at all. And it wasn't even connected to the phone anymore. So I was like, whoa, what is going on? So I had to try and connect it myself. But since the camera wouldn't turn on and I couldn't necessarily take the wire out of the car because it was installed in the car, and I don't really know too much about that. I don't want to break nothing, not be able to put nothing back together. I declared that because it was turning on for a second, especially when I would unplug all the wires and then put it back together, it would turn on for about a second, and that's the clip that y'all saw. But then it would not come back on again. And this happened multiple times. So I think it's very clear that the wiring on the inside of the car, or the hot wiring, I don't know, maybe I'm saying the wrong word, must have a loose cable, or maybe they did it wrong, because it's getting power, but it wasn't getting enough power to stay on the whole time that the car was on. And even so, this person also pretty much said that it was supposed to stay on even when the car was off. They lied. So I'm kind of feeling like they probably ripped this person off, and I feel bad, wish I could have fixed it, but at the end of the day, I still declared what the problem was. And again, this is real IT troubleshooting, identifying whether the problem is a software issue, a network issue, or a hardware issue. And I was very much glad to figure out that it was hardware, even though it's still crappy, I couldn't fix it. After the cameras, I spent some time on a virtual machine, and I installed Windows 10 Pro and practiced a few help desk-like tasks. I experimented with creating local user accounts, trying to do Active Directory style exercises, and familiarizing myself with processes I'd likely see in a help desk role. Though I could not spin up the full server because I didn't know I needed to have 2 CPUs to run the server for Active Directory, it's still some good practice to get with making accounts, adding users, taking off users, making permissions, not having any permissions there, and stuff like that. It wouldn't be like, it's quite similar, but it's still going to be a little bit different when done in Active Directory. But I think I can watch a couple of videos to learn that. But the point isn't perfection, it's building muscle memory for real IT scenarios. And then finally, I ended up installing an SD card into one of the cameras so it could record 24/7. After the install, I verified that it worked and the camera was recording like it should. Granted, this one was a very simple task and probably one of the easiest things that I have done. I would still consider this IT troubleshooting though, because it definitely is dealing with hardware and doing something with hardware. For instance, if you're changing a GPU in a computer, you're not going to be like, well, that's not IT work. It's like, well, technically, not even technically, that is, right? So I ended up putting the SD card in. I was kind of nervous at first because it's so tiny. I didn't want to like break it or mess up the camera. I've never done this before. And pretty much, I guess I had to watch a YouTube video, someone kind of jam it in there, and then I did the same thing, was able to pop it back out just to test it a little bit, and then finally put it in, closed it up, had the camera up. Though the camera for some reason started doing this weird thing where it was like initializing for about an hour or two, so I thought I broke it. I was like, oh shoot, this is gonna be one of those stories. But after that happened, it actually started to work, and I got it to where, like, clap this up for me, because you know how many people who want to do this with their cameras or indoor cameras and they can't? I got it to where I could finally now go back into the recordings and see everything that is happening from ever since I put that SD card in. We got about 256 gigabytes on it. So I believe when it ends up hitting that cap, you don't have to like take it out and then do something on your computer to erase it. No, it should just naturally overwrite over it. So that's pretty good, meaning though sadly, if we want to see what's going on every day in this particular thing, you would have to, just kind of look back before it gets erased. But the good news is, I would call the one with the camera independent work because I just did it for myself, if that makes sense. But the rest of that stuff, the other stuff with the 2 cameras in the car, that was full-blown freelance work, and I'm just so happy to have gotten that done. Happy to be able to put this on my resume and to be able to get all this experience. None of this was dramatic. None of this needed any type of certification, not even any type of fancy tools, just hands-on troubleshooting and experimenting. What matters isn't that everything worked, it's that I practiced diagnosing real IT problems, isolating issues, and thinking like an IT support technician would. And I made sure to document every step because this is the type of experience that you could either put on your resume or discuss in interviews. Diagnosing hardware failures, resolving network issues, and performing system setups. And even practicing on a virtual machine counts. Even installing an SD card counts. These are skills that translate to real IT work. I am not an IT expert, but every challenge that I tackle teaches me how systems actually behave. Hands-on work like this is how you will really learn. And it is something that you can't just get by doing tutorials. All the things I have done were kind of new to me. I was still able to figure it out even though not everything worked. But there will be more hands-on IT experience coming soon that I will be bringing to y'all. I'm so thankful to be able to bring y'all along. Thank y'all so much. I hope that you guys ended up enjoying this video. If you did, make sure you end up leaving a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like this type of journey content where I take you along when I'm kind of learning / doing some real IT work / some broader topics, really hit that sub button and come join me on this journey, man. This is a beautiful place to be, and I'll continue to see you guys later, and you guys will one day see me become a network engineer. But let's start small. You'll see me get my CompTIA Plus first. Catch you in the next one. Deuces.